kind of
I've
really,
had
like juicy, like bloody juicy kind of. At least when
you can get different cuts.
But
of
I
whales.
had minke whale, which is
Minke was like it's like almost a pest whale. It's
yeah.
It's like there's just so many of them. Like
I've heard conflicting things about that. I've heard like
if you Google it on Wikipedia, it says on the level of endangered, like there's like non-endangered, endangered, sort of like it's actually on the level past normal, like it's actually almost pest level. Like there's such a high population of it. Because I was really curious about it because I used to work in a sushi restaurant and I saw that we had whale on the menu. I was like. And then I did the Google Translate as like the exact species, and I looked up the exact species on Wikipedia, and it was like not endangered or the least. It's like almost pest-like populations. So I was like, oh, I didn't realize that you could get whales that are like almost pest-like. So,
no, I didn't know that.
But I don't like. It's not great meat. It's just kind of chewy and not great. But I've also had very amazing whale before that I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to eat this. I'm pretty sure this is the whale that.
Which whale?
I don't know because I didn't know it was like. It was just like they're like eat this. I'm like, what is this? And I was like, it was white and marbled and like.
Oh wow!
It was just like
it's that one right in that video. Right?
It was like amazing. They're like, oh, it's bacon. It's bacon. I'm like, okay. And I ate it. I'm like, this is not bacon. I'm like, oh, it's whale. I'm like. But they call it whale bacon because it looks like damn minke whales. I won't try a calf testicle, any part of animals' testicles or bugs. Have you had any bugs? Like scorpions or crickets or...
I had so in Asia, or when I went to China, they eat cicadas there.
Yeah.
And to a park at night.
Caught them?
Plucked them off the tree.
Yeah.
Brought them home.
Eat them live?
No, you deep fry them.
Are they clean? Like,
Right.
I guess so.
Because like,
you deep fry it, so it's like you
fry it.
literally submerge it. Everything. Yeah.
oh god, don't ask, don't tell whale. Yeah, probably.
I mean, like I think like 40% of the world eats bugs as part of their regular diet or something like that.
We got an
bugs
awkward of
supposed to be, like,
eggs
super
and
high
eggs.
protein?
He said it tastes like an egg that was cooked in.
Apparently, crickets are the highest yield of protein per like kilogram of feed. So like it's like the most efficient protein.
Yeah.
Some people say.
I mean, there was an exhibition nearby that was like in Roppongi where they were doing like this bug exhibition, and they had like pasta made from cricket flour. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So I was like, I want to try it. It was like $30 for one serving, and that's dry pasta where you have to cook yourself. I was like, maybe not.
They haven't scaled it up enough, right? Like it's just so like on the micro scale right now, so you like it's just not feasible, or like it doesn't seem like economical.
But the problem is that you need to make sure it's clean. So the reason I asked, like, is that clean? Is like, for example, I had a French friend talking about snails in escargot. She's like, no, you can't just grab snails from the. You're supposed to detox them. Like, yes, you can grab those garden snails, but you have to like feed them for a week. Like, you need to detox them for a week. So you put them in like you pick all the garden snails, you bring them inside, and you just feed them water and like green leaves or something, and make sure they poop out all or excrete all their like toxins and stuff. Because like if they're like wandering around in soil and everything, it can be really dirty. So you're supposed to like clean them before you eat them. So like crickets and stuff, I'm like, are you supposed to clean crickets? Like, are you supposed to detox crickets before you eat them?
Didn't do that.
I mean, you probably eat snails raw. No.
Usually in butter.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's true. Yeah.
Seafood butter with basil.
Some insects have too much flavor. Wait, so how did cicadas? Right, you can't really tell.
And they're like not super flavorful, but they're like a little bit like. I don't know. I was really grossed out eating them, so I didn't think too much about the taste.
Well, if you like deep fried prawn heads,
yeah.
Deep fried what?
I have had like deep fried prawn heads, like the kind you get that's
like shrimps,
right?
Yeah.
So those are like sushi though, like.
But you can eat all of that.
But I mean, I imagine it's kind of like that.
Texture-wise, maybe not as like hard because the shell is like really hard. but like it's more crispy. And
Wait, texture-wise, it's not as hard. As in, like inside is more.
the bug not as hard as the deep fried prawn head.
Wait, really? I would think the bug would be harder to eat than the prawn. Really?
See, like if
not
it
as
was
much
like
work
crispy,
to
I'd be
kinda
like,
get
oh
to
yeah,
it.
it's cool. Like, if it's like a prawn head, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'd eat that. But if it's not, then I'm kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I just couldn't get over the fact it was a bug.
But then cicadas are kind of like, you know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah,
crickets are a bit more like prawn heady, right?
I think
Well,
A
I
bit more.
I feel like crickets are quite a bit smaller than cicadas too.
I don't know. I didn't eat the wait, what? Cricket? I didn't eat the cricket. I ate
Oh, we're talking about the possibility of eating crickets and how they would compare. Like, because we're talking about like crickets have like really high protein, but like cicada is like a bug that's just like
cicadas are like
it's just like they're thick,
it's like
chunky.
substance. You pick one up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm not as into.
Scorpion too.
Try it. I'd try anything. Try anything
Tarantula
else.
and scorpion would mix.
Yeah. I don't know,
Crickets are
man.
just crunchy
I was
season
traveling
things.
in
I
Uganda
feel like-
for a while, and people are really big
Yeah.
on eating grasshoppers and stuff down there. And the kids will go around and collect them and sell them in the streets and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It just becomes normalized, right? And people are just like, yeah, you just eat them. They're a snack, and it's great. And you don't think about it.
I feel
and-
like I could eat deep fried crickets,
Like-
like the small ones.
I can
It's
eat-
like I imagine it being like little shrimps, like deep fried shrimps.
Think about it.
Yeah, and if you're like lightly salted and just
Nothing. Yeah.
they don't
know
have much
too
flavor, just
about
like
the
oh yeah,
anatomy
healthy
of,
snack.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything about bug anatomy, insect anatomy, so therefore it's like less difficult for me to just
Arachnophobic.
plop it in my
Pop
mouth.
it in and try it.
Someone in here has tried tarantula. Like how do you eat that? Is it like deep fried? Do you just deep fry it?
Shouldn't eat tarantula.
Like aren't tarantulas like the most venomous? Like
Oh, black widows. Tarantulas are venomous, right?
no, so tarantulas. I think
You can sit wherever you want to
I think
sit.
it's like tarantulas are the most venomous, but they don't have the teeth to actually inject that venom properly into you.
Oh, interesting.
They barbecued it. Huh. Meh.
I don't understand.
Do you know that a male spider's penis falls off? Thanks.
Now I know that. That's great.
The more you know.
You know, sometimes I think like I only have a set amount of space in my brain for things, and I learn some facts, and I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't know that. But now I do.
Isn't that yeah? Like, I wonder. It's like maybe is it killed by heat or something? Interesting.
I never thought about it. Never crossed my mind. I don't know. I'd like to add more insects to my diet. I was like really keen on the cricket farming thing. I kind of I wanted to get into that for a little while.
Really?
Well, yeah. If you're
Farmer.
vegan, how do you feel about eating bugs?
I'm
Is
keen.
it vegan by like ethical reasons or
Environmental reasons mostly. Yeah.
sustainability? So like
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
then, yeah, insects would be. I think, yeah, that's an interesting concept because James wouldn't eat insects. Jane is like a so you
Oh.
have vegetarians, pescatarians, and Jane is like a diet where they won't even eat foods that may have insects living in them.
Oh, interesting.
So, if, for example, one of the ones that they won't eat is cauliflower because it's so like it has like so many like florets and stuff. It's easy for insects to be living in there. They might disturb that,
Right.
so they wouldn't eat cauliflower.
Is
That's, like,
Jane is that like an Indian? Is that
I think it's, yeah,
Jane
Indian.
in India? Yeah. Okay.
raised.
That's wild. I didn't know that. It must be sort of tied in with Buddhism, maybe a little.